Hey now, my dear friends, wherever you are, please put some tzedakah in the pushka and put some for me too. I don't have a pushka here right now. As you see, I'm standing outside. Just driving on the highway, seeing these huge 48-footer trailers schlepping beams, boxes, etc., open flatbeds. It dawned on me, thinking about the transportation mode they had for the Mishkan, in the Midbar, in the desert, where they had to disassemble the entire Mishkan, and then they had to reassemble it, but they also had to transport it from one place to the other. The Torah tells us that the Nisim, the head of tribes, offered the transportation vehicles, relatively primitive wagons. Now, think about it. Among the things they had to transport was those boards, beams, 48 of them. Size, think about it. As it says, 20 cubits high, approximately 40 feet high. Cubit and a half wide, 3 feet wide. 1 cubit thick, 2 feet thick. Acacia wood, covered in gold. Pretty big, pretty heavy. 48 of them. Now, how many wagons do you think they would use for that? I would guess man-pushed wagons, 1 at least, 2 maximum. No, so the Torah tells us that he used a total of 4 wagons, meaning 12 beams stacked up one on top of the other. Couldn't they afford a few more wagons? They were very wealthy. They built the whole Mishkan, gold and silver, most precious metals. Suddenly they became cheap on wagons? What's the idea? So the Rebbe brings out a beautiful thought and says the following. We have a concept that says everything which is created in this world is here for a reason. There's not one little insect, yes, my friends, even mosquitoes, that are created here for no reason. Every single grass blade has a purpose. You know the famous story with David HaMelech when he was wondering, why did God create spiders? And then his life was saved by a spider when he was being pursued by the army of King Saul, Shaul HaMelech. And he hid in the caves. In one of the caves that he hid, miraculously, the spider made a huge cobweb. When the soldiers saw a fresh cobweb, they figured, no, cobweb, they realized nobody is inside. So they went looking for some other caves, and that's how his life was spared. And that's what David HaMelech said. That was God's answer to me, to my question, what would he need spiders? Now, we don't necessarily know why each little insect exists, but they're here for a reason. The Mishkan, which represents God's presence, God's revealed presence in this world, has the same concept. Nothing is done in vain. Everything has a reason. If it is possible to transport those huge beams on 4 wagons, meaning 12 per wagon, that's all we need. Then we don't need to waste it. We don't need to have more than this. Which gives us over here an important lesson in life. To realize everything, every little act is not insignificant. Every deed, good, and even unfortunately sometimes the opposite of good, has a tremendous impact. We all know the butterfly effect. A butterfly flapping its tiny wings in the other side of the world could have a tremendous effect in the other part of the world. So this is what the Torah is teaching us over here, to realize that every act is relevant, important, and necessary. And this concurs what the Rebbe told the reporter when he asked him, what is your message of Mashiach to the world? And the Rebbe said, Mashiach is ready to come. He's already here. All we need to do is to add a little in the realm of goodness and kindness. As the Rebbe often quotes and actually encouraged, we should publicize the Rambam. But the Rambam says that one should always look at the world on an even scale of 50 good, 50 even, perfectly balanced scale, 50 good and 50 no good. And one deed of mine will tip the scale for the good and will bring the whole world into the world of goodness, the world of perfection, the world of Mashiach. So my friends, all it takes is just one more mitzvah and we will meet in Yerushalayim.